Part B, step 3. These steps have to be done in order. They cannot be done concurrently because we're doing it in Microsoft Excel. The formulas that we're going to be using don't have an equivalent in Google Docs or Google Sheets, and it'll error out. So we need to keep it Excel. So when we re-upload it, we're going to upload it as an XLSX file, not a Google Sheet. So I do have 6 steps, so this one for each team member. So this first one, we're going to be calculating the portfolio standard deviation. It's a little bit tricky to calculate a standard deviation because each interact with each other. Each stock interacts with each other, and that's why we did this chart to show what's the interaction with S1 with S1, like stock 1 with stock 1, stock 1 with stock 2, stock 2. So it's a big table of this. And then there's a question about, well, right now we're using equal by default, equal amount of each stock, but in the future we're going to figure out what's the proportion of each that we should be using, and those proportion are going to be using these proportionally. So there's a formula for that. It's a square root of this times this again. So what that formula is right here. This is the one that can't be converted. So let's start by I'm going to move this back up just to simulate the same as what you probably had it as, and we're going to download it. File, download, Microsoft Excel, and I'm going to change the name slightly. I'm going to add a week 9 Excel just to be overly clear. This is the Excel version of it that needs to be kept as an Excel version. Enter. And then load it up. Sometimes takes a minute. Okay, here it is. And first I'm going to start by moving this chart. That's Control Alt 5. Now I have 2 charts. The old one that you can see behind my new one, and you may have deleted yours already. I didn't yet. If you didn't, delete it now. Otherwise, if I hit Control Alt 5 again, I'll see my front chart selected, and that's the one I'm going to move. Just going to arrow it down. There we go. Now I escape to get off that chart. And now I'm going to go down to B24. So I'm just going to hit F5, B24, enter. And I'm going to write this formula. Excuse me. Which is equals square root. So I see it down there. I can tab it to accept it. And then 2 matrix multipliers. mmult, tab, mmult, tab. Then a transpose. Then I can select my percentages and close brackets. And then I'm going to multiply that by the chart. Now, all I need to do is collect the first one of the chart, because remember, this is a chart that, not a chart, a table that expands. So I'm going to F4 it, because I always want to refer to it. And the way to cite the entire table is the pound key. And then close brackets. So it's the first 2 that are being multiplied. And then multiplying all that with the percentages again. And then close bracket, and then close bracket one more time for the square root, and enter. That is the standard deviation of the low risk one, even though we haven't figured out the percentages yet. But I'm going to autofill it across, hold down shift, go across to, and then Control R. So right now it's all the same. And then I'm going to save that, Control S. Now, when I go back to our Google Drive, I'm going in my week 7 team 7 Google Drive. I'm going to make sure that when I upload it, it's not going to convert it to a Google Sheet. And the way to do that is the gear settings, go down to convert, make sure that this is off, and then back. Now I can click file or new file upload, and then there it is, the week 9 Excel. It's uploading it. And notice the difference in symbol. The week 9, it has this symbol. It's kind of a T. It's showing the rows and columns of a Google Sheet. This one has the X showing Excel. Now, if I double click it, it'll view it in Google Sheets. I'm not going to risk that. But more importantly, when I download it, I'm going to be able to download it as a real Excel document, not convert it into an Excel document. And I'm done.